What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get all these streamings going here. It's that time for that weekly podcast. Make sure that make sure we're streaming live everywhere here. How y'all doing this week? This week is the first of the month. It's the first Wednesday of the month, and we're talking hunting. We got a bunch of different little topics that I want to cover this podcast. Remember, these are some of the weekly 15-minute podcasts that I've been doing. So as I make sure that we are streaming on YouTube here, that'll give us enough time also to let some people come in, start filtering in. So finally, after 2 weeks, we finally, thank you, Lord, for letting us get some rain. I don't know how it is where y'all live, but we haven't had any rain in like 2 weeks. I know if you haven't seen the video, I created a video about a week ago. I think it came out about a week ago about preparing for dove season. I prepared the land. I put out millet. I had a plan. That plan didn't turn out as like I wanted it to, for sure. And if you haven't watched the video, we'll talk about it. So I had a section that I took the tractor, went down, I disced up this way, and I got it all worked up, and I had the idea that I was going to plant millet one week, and then plant millet the next week, and then plant millet the next. That way, I'd have 3 different heights just in case one dies, and so on. Well, that's how I did it. I planted it, and then I waited a week and planted the other, and then I waited a couple more days and planted the last. But guess what? We hadn't had a drop of rain until yesterday. So me waiting 3 weeks probably hasn't done anything. So Daniel commented in the channel here, we've been getting too much rain, about 12 to 15 inches in the past 3 weeks. Holy moly. So I think that may be Wisconsin, maybe. But Texas, Oklahoma, they're getting so much rain, which is going to be awesome. The way they talk is going to make a awesome waterfowl season for them. But our next season is dove season. It's not that far away. Labor Day, it is Labor Day, September, somewhere first week in September. Usually I think it's Labor Day is when it typically comes out. But I don't know. I'm going to keep y'all posted on the dove field. I hope that it's sitting there. All the birds didn't just scratch around and just eat free millet. It could have been. I may go back and put another light coating on top. We still got plenty of time, so I'm not too worried about it yet. Once it starts coming up and then we don't get no rain, we would definitely be worrying about it. So comment, tell me if you're watching on YouTube, comment. If you're watching this later on YouTube, comment. Tell me, have you started anything for dove season? How's y'all's going? Looking pretty rough in South Carolina. I'm going to pull up on the screen here something that's came out. This article was wrote in January. This is from the Wildfowl, wildfowlmagazine.com. This was wrote back in, I believe, in January the 10th, 2024. So this is this year. If you know anything about pintails, last year they were talking about only one pintail, and that you maybe this season we wasn't even gonna have a pintail season. They talked about last year that we were only like 1,000 birds away from being out of a pintail season. And now they're saying, hey, instead of one bird, you might get 3 birds next year, as in 24-25 season. So if you haven't been keeping up with the pintails, this is something to definitely keep an eye on. I don't understand how we go from only going from one pintail. Let me just clarify to start with. They're like golden nuggets in South Carolina. I would hate to know how many. It'd probably be low, very low pintails that probably get killed in South Carolina. But in North Carolina, our sister state in the Outer Banks, they get a lot of pintails. So it's maybe 5 hours drive. It's not that far. There is a big pintail population, but a year ago, everything was falling apart. No pintails, no pintails. We're going to cut the season out, and now, well, maybe you might get 3. What changed? Did they just magically find birds? Did breeding be successful in Alaska and Canada last year? I don't know. I think it's very interesting. It hasn't, what I've been reading, it doesn't look like it may be every state that gets 3 birds. It could be still some states have different limits. Like I said, this is 24-25. It may be suggested. We don't really know, but that's the way it's looked like it's leaning. What do y'all feel about that? What did they miss on counting these birds? Typically, when you read the articles, most of the articles that I find talking about pintails, it typically always says California, California, California. And if you look, I'm pretty sure California is the biggest state of waterfowl. Let's see, what is the best state for waterfowl? California, that's what I thought. Best state for hunting pintails. Washington, the best state for scenic hunt. Hey, that's what we say in South Carolina. When you don't see any birds, man, it's the most beautiful sunset or sunrise you have ever seen in your life. And usually a good breakfast. Oklahoma, best up and coming waterfowl hunting state. Missouri, best mid migration state. Minnesota, best state for divers. And then it says Louisiana, best cast and blast state. I don't know what that one is. Best cast and blast? That's South Carolina with the wood duck. But typically all this regulations is California. And you would think that California would have some strict gun laws, and they do. But they have some of the awesome duck hunting ever. If you could ever get a chance to go to California, it is definitely on my to-do list one day to get out to California. The cinnamon teal, that's on my definitely on the checkbox list. Summer plumage ruddy duck, I think, is out there. Statistically wise, I don't even remember the number of mallards that gets shot in California. It is unbelievable, the statistic that comes out of California. Some of the other regulations that are being proposed for 24-25 is Texas. They're talking about getting rid of their extra goose conservation season. The like light goose conservation, what some people call snows. Look like they're getting rid of that. Look like they might extend regular goose season by 19 days for light geese, reducing the bag limit on light geese to 5 daily. Formerly it was 10. South Carolina, our early goose season, I think, is like 15. Granted, we don't have the rules and regulations yet. They usually come out mid-July. Typically, I think early spring, early goose season is 15, and then I think the rest of the season is 10, maybe 5. Let's look it up. Um, I'm pulling that up now. So Canada geese, that's regular season. Where's early season? They don't have that one on here. There's November. We got to find early season. Find another slide. Because we have basically 4 seasons of Canadian geese. September the 1st through September the 30th. So I really like early goose season. That way you can hunt geese in the morning, doves in the afternoon around lunchtime. Then November, December is the same as our duck season. And then February 15th through March the 1st. Now remember, these are last year numbers. You have like a late season goose. Let's see here. Let's find the early September bag limits. All right, that's what I thought. September the 1st through September the 30th, which is early, is 15, and then rest of the season is 5. No more than 2 white-faced geese, which I haven't seen any. And I know of 1 snow goose. Let me take that back. 2. I've seen 1, and I've seen pictures of another snow goose that was shot in Lancaster County. I saw the first one up in Indian Land, and the one that was shot was not in Indian Land. It was completely somewhere else. Them jokers must have been lost. Either they were lost or they were just flying with some regular geese, because we don't typically see snow geese in South Carolina. But we have a season and you can shoot them. But let's see what else is going on. Now remember, we're back on. This is Delta Waterfowl's website. Arkansas is. This is for 24-25 season. Arkansas's want to reduce the bag limit of white fronted geese to 2, which was 3, and they want to shorten the white front season to 69 days. Eliminating restrictions on the use of spinning wing and motion decoys on state-owned game management lands. That's pretty big there. How many people use mojos in their decoys? I always hear mixed reviews. I always hear people say, I only hunt over them. And you hear people say, hey, they constantly flare my birds. I have hunted over them in Tennessee, and it seems to work. I'm on the fence of not sure that they work in South Carolina. Now, by the time the birds get from Canada all the way to South Carolina, they have already seen every spread possible. They have seen probably every mojo spinning. Is that the reason why they don't work so great in South Carolina? Possibly. People will tell you that mojos you want to use in sunlight. They don't work good in fog. Geese don't like them. I don't know. Y'all comment and tell me what y'all think on mojos. How do y'all feel about them? I definitely have tried the wind cheaper mojo, the one that's just the wings spin by the wind. We typically don't have the winds to make that even move. So it's definitely a battery powered mojo. Now, definitely motion decoys, something making that water move, making them look real. 100%. I do believe that works great. Um, Washington back on this regulation here. Um, Look like they're going to bring back the Harlequin Quinn. I always call it the Harlan Quinn. My friend gives me a lot of smack talking with that. Um, Looks like they're going to be doing allows for a draw for 38 permits. The season's been closed for 2 seasons, so that's going to be definitely different in Washington. There, Nevada increased the number of swans. Glad I said that. Let me move this down just for a second here. Come back on the screen. Look at that. I got my swan. That was from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. If you're going to put in a permit, pay attention. I'm pretty sure. Let me pull it up here. I want to make sure North Carolina swan permit. I'm pretty sure the beginning is July 1st. I'm pretty sure that's when North Carolina starts. Now, granted, this was last year's. So, North Carolina, they pick in October in this time, 2023, it was October the 1st. I think that's when it was. Then also, does it have a date when it starts? It's got to. When can I apply? There we go. July 1st. That's what I thought it was. July 1st. So if you're planning to hunt a swan in North Carolina, July 1st. Now, let me just go ahead and tell you with applying for a swan. I done it. It took me 2 times before I got a permit. So it is a lottery draw. When you go to fill out your draw tag or purchase your tag, you have to have a hunter license. So if you don't have hunting license, you're going to have to purchase hunting license when you purchase the permit. That way, if you have if you don't get picked, they still get money for their license. It's kind of like a catch-22. So you have to purchase license to purchase the permit, even though you may not get it. Now, like I said, it took me 2 years. Another way to get a tag is doing party tags. You can go together with your buddies, your friends, whoever, and do a couple people. Each person would use the same number that you get as a party. The only downside to a party is if you have a slack friend who doesn't purchase one part of their license, you're all out. So let me see if it has it up here. There's a couple pieces that you have to buy with the swan permit. You have to have your hunting license. You have to have like your waterfowl state. I think it's called the HIP, the HIP. Each state's different. Basically, you got your federal stamp, and it's like a state stamp. Like I said, every state calls it different. You got to have a hunting license. You got to have the state waterfowl one, and you have to pay the permit. If one person in the group doesn't purchase one of them licenses, it throws everybody out. So if you're going to do that and do a team tag or a group tag, Make sure, put one person in charge to make sure everybody has it right. And I'm sure there is somewhere on this website that tells you about that. Daniel said, I only use mojos in early season. Come late season, they will flare off when they see them. Yeah, I agree. You probably like me. They done seen every. They're looking for something different. I mean, these birds are smart. They have seen. You got to think. It is June here. Come September, somewhere around September, they start hunting in Canada. I don't know the dates for ducks. I know geese, totally different. But typically, they start hunting September, October in Canada. And then it starts moving on down until we get early teal season. So these birds, by the time they hit us, they have been shot at. They have seen every decoy, every blind that you could typically throw at them. So pay attention when you're doing your swan permit. There's frequently asked questions. There is a telephone number for North Carolina. You can call them, and they will be glad to help you over the phone. If you don't feel comfortable of doing it, right there, there's the telephone number. It tells you there's a website, talks about the results, but by telephone, right there, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That's how I did it. I did not feel comfortable about taking the chance of doing it online and missing a special tag or special permit that I needed. I called them up because also when you're filling out another state's tags and permits, you have to have a hunter safety education. Sometimes that is age restricted. Each state's different. I have it in South Carolina, but I didn't know my number because I've been a hunt in South Carolina for many, many years. I don't actually look it up. So when I called them, I told a woman, she said, what's your hunter education number? I said, I have no idea. She was like, for a small fee. I'm like, here we go. She's like, I think it was like $5. We can pull that in. Do you authorize that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, I got your number. I'm like, now how in the world did that happen so quick? I mean, I know it was technology and I know the computers are all linked together, but it was boom, done. So you have to have all this in place to get a permit because they're not going to tell you when they draw, oh, sorry, you didn't have this and it kicked you out. Or they're not going to send you an email that says, hey, you don't have this one. No, you got to get your stuff in order. But if you do get a permit for hunting a swan in North Carolina, let me tell you where you need to go. This picture does no justice to where this is actually is in North Carolina. They probably didn't want to put the real picture because there are so many birds. I have a video. It's on my YouTube channel. Go look at it. Just type in Swan, North Carolina, Outer Banks, something like that. It should not. It should not be hard to find. When I say there is no way possible to count how many birds there was, I couldn't even guesstimate how many swans was out there. Thousands. It would be closer to the 10,000. But if you do go, look up poor boys out of North Carolina. Let's see if I can pull it up. Poor Boy Outdoors. This is by far who you want to go see. I sent Daddy Duck. If you're in South Carolina, you know who Daddy Duck is. He went last year. Unbelievable hunt. I'm trying to find the Facebook. Let's see if any of these, for some reason, that says New York. That's not correct. I'm looking for the right Facebook, so I'll put y'all on it. So if you're in South Carolina, you heard of the Carolina Sportsman. They're getting a free plug here. Carolina Sportsman magazine. This is it. Same outfit. Poor Boy Outfitters. When just trust me, hit them up. It is unbelievable. I mean, I cannot tell you. It will blow your mind. Uh, this is just, you can see here white dots everywhere. I mean, it's crazy how many birds are out there. And the reason why they want you to come hunt there is because they migrate there and they eat so much crops. I mean, it devastates the crops. That is literally how it looks. Massive birds. So definitely, if you're going to go apply for a permit, go ahead. July 1st. Go ahead and start planning for that. Back to these regulations. New Jersey's, they're shortening to 30 days, 3 goose limits. Look like they're changing some dates on the coastal zone. Maryland is an awesome goose. It used to be called the goose capital of the world. I'm thinking population, people hunting it. They may still call it the goose capital of the world, but I don't think it is as big as it used to be. I'm speaking from past tense and what I hear. I don't know the good old days of Maryland, but they're reducing the days down to 30 days with a 2-day daily bag limit. So this is on the Delta Waterfowl's website, 24 to 25. So this is this coming season where the pintail that I was talking about, I may have said earlier 24, 25, but they're talking about 25, 26. I think the pintail population that we're going to be stoked with this year has already been determined. I'm thinking that it's going to be next year's, where they're talking about a 3 bird per day. I don't know. Be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to what y'all think about it. From the 1 bird to possibly 3 birds. Even here it's talked about the past 30 years of pintails, and each flyaway is different. As a young person, I mean, not me, I'm not young, but as a young duck hunter, let's put it like that. You see right here, it says the bag limits for a bull, sprig, and a hen, and you got drakes, you got spoonies, you got Mr. Hollywood. There's so many names for ducks. I mean, unless you've been around a while, you hear somebody, oh, look, there comes a Susie. We're like, what in the world is a Susie? And you're looking in your catalog here, and I'm like, I don't see no Susie. What's a Susie? So what's some of the names that y'all call some of the ducks in your area? We got some for sure that's really funny names. What's up, Palmetto? Definitely comment after this video if you listen to it streaming on one of your podcasts. Get time, drop by and comment from where you at and what state you hunting at, and tell us the names of some of the weird stuff that some of the ducks that y'all got. There's some crazy names that people come up with naming some ducks for sure. So like I said, if you haven't noticed up front here, the boat now has a name. It's the Duck and Cover Cattail Cadillac. That's what I'm talking about. The poor man Cadillac. Woo! So the boat officially has a name. Now, if you want to be a sponsor and you want this whole side, hit me up. If you own a boat company and you want your name on there, I'll be glad to take sponsorship. So, not turning you down unless it's got some kind of PG-13 name, but we're definitely taking some sponsorships on the boat. Uh, hopefully, hopefully next week, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. I haven't got a confirmation yet, and I'm waiting on a confirmation. I'm looking now just to make sure I haven't missed anything. No, he hasn't read the message. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here. So hopefully, and I really, I'm gonna throw this back up on the screen here. If you up under, let me just give you a brief intro to RD Reynolds Outdoors. So you have videos. This is where y'all typically see some hunting videos. And I just got in some kick chokes for the 20 gauge Beretta A300. So I got a ton of waterfowl ammunition and dove loads and target loads that I'm going to be doing some pattern testing. So you're going to see these videos coming out really, really soon on the A300 20 gauge. Typically, if you know me talking, and if Daddy Duck was here, I always talk junk about his 16 gauge, and I always tell him the 12 gauge is the Lord's gauge, but the 20 gauge is definitely for the younger people and some older people that have shoulder problems. And that A300's got the kickoff also. It is a smooth cycling shotgun. So pay attention. You're going to see a lot of them videos flowing through. The shorts, they're just kind of funny stuff. Really funny. If you like some, like this one right here, that's some funny live shorts. So the live is where typically it announces where a live is going to be at. Like today, it shows the live for today. But next week, next Wednesday is going to be our weekly day for podcasts. Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. But next week, I hope to be talking to a guy named Tim. He is a wildlife rehab person. Does a lot of waterfowl, all kind of other animals. He takes them in, he gets them back, rehabs them. Awesome person to talk to. There is his name. Hit him up on YouTube and Facebook. The footage that he's constantly posting is crazy. He's taking geese that lose their parents, and he's taking the babies and moving them over and with other geese, and watching these geese take some other geese families babies in and raising them as their own. I mean, there is so much information that he hope to talk about. I can't wait. So Daniel says seeing Susie is a hen mallard, a coot, a mud duck. I ain't never heard it called a mud duck. Wood duck, oh Woody, absolutely a Woody. A rocket, a jet fighter. I get a kick out of your southern nicknames. I usually have to Google it. Y'all, I look at the statistics of these podcasts, and I'm going to pull that up real quick, too. That's what a lot of people, they say, I just come here to listen to you. And when I'm listening, my wife hears it in the background, and she cuts up and starts laughing on how you pronounce stuff. Hey, trust me, my friends laugh at some of the stuff. My wife even says, hey, that's not even a word. You just made that up. But when I pull up statistics right here for the podcast, and this is just up under Spotify. 95% of the location is United States, 1% is United Kingdom, 1% is France, 1% is Australia, and 1% New Zealand. Now, if y'all think I have an accent, imagine what in the world they are thinking. So, and then it goes in there and breaks out age group and then male and female. So, I just think it's funny because once I can hit the states and I can go in here, especially on Apple Podcasts, and it shows the cities that these podcasts get listened to, and it's like Chicago. I'm like, who in the world is listening to me in Chicago? But if you're listening to me in Chicago, I appreciate it. But it is definitely something, some real cool statistics. Maybe one day I might break down on a podcast and break down the viewership. Like I said, this is we were doing two podcasts a month. Now we're going to weekly podcast. So it's definitely getting bigger. Spread the word. Like I said, Wednesdays at 8:00. This is where we're going to be. We're going to be in the boat. And you can see up under the live here when we have special guests. I'm typically wanting to do 15 to 30 minutes on the weekly podcast. That way you can listen to it on your way home from work. You can just get bits and pieces. Like I said, the first Wednesday, I want to typically talk hunting like we did today. Second Wednesday is going to be typically food and food prep. I just started a video, which is not ready yet because it's a bunch of step process. I just started recording it tonight on my sticky chicken, sticky Boston butt, and sticky ribs. So you definitely need to watch when that video comes out because it is amazing. Everybody loves the way that thing tastes. And the main recipe, the main ingredient of that recipe is brown sugar. So if you're a diabetic, this is not your recipe for sure. Can I make you a mod on my channel? Possibly, Palmetto. Possibly. I'll get up with you after this. But this recipe, the main ingredient is brown sugar, and I'm talking about a lot of brown sugar. But when that caramelizes on them ribs and that chicken quarters, it is finger licking, amazing good. So that video is going to take me a couple days to record it all because I have to prepare the ingredients, which I did tonight. Then I have to put the chicken quarters, the Boston butts into the ingredients, let them sit for 24 hours, and then I got to cook them. So it's going to be a couple days of prep before I can even put that video together. I'm reading the comment. All right. I got you, Palmetto. So definitely pay attention to that video when it comes out. We're going to have Southern Food Junkie back on this month. Talking catfish nuggets. I can't wait to see some of these recipes for desserts that he's got. Towards the end of the month, we're going to be doing the same thing, talking about shotguns and then ammo. If you missed the last video where we had Keith on from Salt Creek Ammo, go watch that video. He's talking about shotgun shortage, the powder shortage, prices of ammo going up. Definitely go watch that video. If you're not preparing for waterfowl season, you better get preparing for it. There may not be any waterfowl ammo by the time waterfowl season comes. So if you don't get it, I guess you're gonna be out there with a net, and I typically don't think a net is one of the ways you can catch waterfowl. I think that's actually like banding and probably against the law. So if you don't have any waterfowl ammo, that's gonna be up the creek in a boat that's cut off. So all right, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, I really hope this next week's live comes through. Very interesting guy. Sorry. So I really hope that comes through. Um, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and a word from our sponsors. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made full waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.